Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here on this Sunday, February the 18th, 2024. What you say? So, I hope everybody's doing fantastic, magnificently, and marvelous because I am. I'm doing good like I know I should. Beautiful day, from what I can see from the outside. It's a little cool, but I like it. I think I've said it. These temperatures work better for me. I know it gets extremely hot during the summer because I experienced that when I moved here. But my body is performing well despite all of that. And then on top of everything else, as you age, you have to consider things about your health and make sure that you are in the right environment so that you can flourish and still be active and having a good time in your life, not wasting, not necessarily wasting, but a lot of people spend a lot of time on their jobs, 30 years. Can you imagine 30 years of your life on a job? And then once you retire, you can barely get off the sofa, or you don't go outside, you don't interact, don't socialize. But everything has to be based on your intentions and your purpose, which is extremely important despite what's being said about it. Most people that have a problem with someone saying that they have intentions and purposes are usually those that I am picking up may not be thinking for themselves, and thus that's why I want to come in and kind of give some more of my theories and opinions, which mean what? Not a goddamn thing. How about that? I want to give some more of my opinions and theories on thinking for yourself, or just thinking in general, and how the results speak for themselves. Okay, the results will speak for themselves, just like with anything. And I say that thinking is synonymous to meditation, in my opinion. Okay, because thinking, just like meditation, requires concentration and focus. Okay, we can easily and which is proven is my point. We can easily have all kind of garbage roaming around in our brains and be able to function per se, or even have conversations per se. And that's just like any addiction too. When you think about it, some people are functioning with their addictions. So I sense that a lot of people are definitely delusional, but they're functioning with their delusion, their hallucination, their fantasies, because our situation allows it. No one really has the time per se to be concerned about what other people are doing, or what people are thinking about. Who has time to be concerned about that? Well, because we can't really penetrate that. What we do is, a lot of us just take people at their word and say, okay, if this is what they're telling me, then that must be true. And then, as I've learned over the course of time, going on since my meditation years, beginning my meditation years, I had to check myself and make sure I'm in alignment with what I'm thinking about and what I'm doing, because I didn't like some results. And that's when I determined, okay, what's really going on? So I put myself through extreme, intensive training to know what it means to think, to know how to be grounded. And then thus, I had a lot of beautiful teachers coming forth in my life, in and out. Billy Meyer is my current teacher. And of course, with other philosophers, other developed minds of psychiatrists, psychologists, blah blah, whatever their titles are, which is irrelevant to me. It's more about their effect. What is their effect on me, and what is their effect on others? And it's important that you pay attention to that. Pay attention to what results you're getting. That's how you know what you're thinking about, right? Or what you're not thinking about, or whatever's going on. Unfortunately, because so many people have had so many opportunities over the course of time, over the course of 100 years, thousands of years, millions of years, to cultivate a certain mode of thinking, whereas they just pick up on the similar vibrations of their previous lifetimes, just say that, where they're doing the same kind of thinking, thus the behaviors and results. And thus, and deja vu. But keep in mind, a lot of everything evolves. And I told you, even evil evolves just as well as positive and good. All that stuff evolves as well. That's the part of the energy. Everything's energy. And a lot of people just do not realize that the might of our thoughts are energy. Just like atoms, just like, it's just going. And for a lot of people, it's just spinning, and it's not going anywhere. They're just spinning the same kind of rhetoric and the same kind of garbage, actually, in my opinion. Some of them, especially when they know they see the results, okay, but then they want to appear like, oh, whoa, that's not my fault. They don't want to take responsibility for what they've created in their thoughts. And so that's why I also said that, there's a lot of us, because we are collective, okay? We're a collective, a bunch of human beings, okay? Our energy and our thoughts are collective, okay? Because if one thing's happening on one side of the world can affect what's happening on the other side of the world. That's the power of our thoughts and the might of it. And that's why if you are not in control of that, you can be causing so many things to happen to innocent people per se, or affect people that you may not even be aware of it. And lying is one of them. Lying is that's the menace that's going to take down a lot of people. It's going to take down a lot of people, and it's going to expose a lot of people. It's going to cause a lot of people to be despondent, and thus they're going to seek revenge or retaliation. Okay, and just consider that, and ask yourself, why not? Why wouldn't that happen? When you look, if you're paying attention and you're being extremely, intensely honest with yourself, you know that there is something going on. No one has to tell you anything, and that's the whole idea. No one is telling you anything. They're just spinning other propaganda, rhetoric. So thinking is an intensive, highly, it's a highly skilled ability if you're thinking for yourself. Okay, in other words, that it's a high development skill to be thinking for yourself. Okay, and you will know that, and a lot of people just don't know that because we were not taught that. That's part of that secret society or the secret scientists, hiding and in caves and hiding in mountains, underground, in bunkers. It's the same kind of rat-like behavior. When people are hiding the truth from you, their behavior, you could pick up their behaviors in action. That's why AI is going to be so successful with that. AI, artificial intelligence, is going to pick up our behaviors and actions, because for many of us, especially those that want to be in a leadership position, it's deja vu. They do the same thing as one personality as they've done in the past personalities, and the blah, blah, blah. Based on their lineage. They're doing the same patterns and behaviors. They're not elevating out of a particular frequency of thinking mode. In other words, they're not thinking. They're just on autopilot. And that's why but like I said, just like with entropy and atrophy, there's a disorder, there's a, deterioration. I say we're all systems, and at some point, our systems are going to shut down. It's going to grind enough to where it's going to shut down for a lot of people. Which means they're not thinking. And if you're not thinking, that means what? You're dead. Okay, you can be sitting up, because, some of your functions are going to still be working. And, and nothing's happening as far as your thoughts are concerned. And I told you that's possible. That's a possible, non-thinking relates to dementia. Is what we're being taught, and Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's, however they're pronouncing that. That's a result of non-thinking. Okay, think about people that you love, and think about people that you've gone through these type of memory situations with them, and ask yourself, if you're thinking clearly and effectively, if you're thinking for yourself, you could probably trace back when you noticed there was an issue, and it could have been in their adolescence. Okay, and chances are that's where it started, and what we're being taught that it could have started when you were in your mother's womb. Okay, so, but we'll let the scientists deal with that, right? So, thinking for yourself. A lot of people say that they are, and what we are, like I said, what we are being taught is, it says, what the human being thinks, he or she becomes. What does that mean to you when someone says that? So everything is really actually very, very simple. It's very simple concepts, very simple realities, but we complicate it. We have these intellectual talking heads that believe that if they can cram their brains with a whole lot of quote unquote knowledge, then that means that they are superior to everybody else. They're good at regurgitation. They're actually performing for you. Some of these intellectual talking heads, they're performing. They're acting. Okay? They're pretending that they know what they're talking about. And in most cases, they don't. A lot of people have fantastic memories of being able to memorize books. And so, because some people had what's called as a photo memories, where they can remember and see stuff that they've read before, but it's just knowledge memorizing. Some people have that ability to do that as well. It's no different than some people knowing how to swim versus people that don't. Some people have skills and abilities. Some people that know how to, like the oratories are the ones, that they can come out and just speak and get these standing ovations, and that is like sex to them. That kind of attention, that's like sex to them. When they get that kind of attention and they feel like they're getting standing ovations, everybody eyes on them. It's a sickness, and it's a degeneracy, deviancy that has been going on for not just 100 years, but thousands, possibly millions of years of so-called evolution, right? Our evolution is, that's our responsibility and accountability. But like I said, there's so much lawlessness. Everybody has always been wanting the edge, always wanting to step on everybody else's toes, want the attention of the women, want the attention of the men, and sadly and dangerously wanting the attention of children, young people. That's that sickness and degeneracy that is plaguing all over. And I get so concerned, but again, about how we are using some images of young people online, like toddlers. And I said this before, and a lot of people are picking up on it, especially mothers. Mothers are going to be the key to a lot of this. What's going to happen is a lot of women, biological women, that needs to be disclosed. Okay, nothing against anything else, but I'm talking biological women are going to be the ones that are going to have to, that will step up, but it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle, bloody, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically, to realize what is happening to our children and our descendants, and how the mothers as well have contributed to it as well. To call yourself a mother, means that you need to have the proper environment for your children, right? And so look at it as a big picture. Picture yourself as a mother of earth. Okay, is this a protective environment that you would want your children to grow up in? Okay, so there's a lot of contemplating and cultivating that we all need to consider participating in. And like I said, there's a time to meditate, but there's always time to be thinking. Thinking ought to be controlled and managed 24/7 to the best of your ability. Okay? And knowing, okay, what am I thinking about right now? And again, you can do all this stuff with no one has to know. I told you, you can be like I'm sitting here and I know exactly what I'm thinking about because I'm grounded. I've calmed myself down. I'm paying attention to what I'm hearing, what I see, what I smell, what I'm tasting, which is coffee. The sounds are the most important to me because that's where you can pick up what's going on in the atmosphere and the climate. It's about what are you hearing? Okay, and it's constant, like for me, I'm paying attention to that. I know my feet are grounded. I'm sitting, I know I'm sitting. I feel the sensation of that. And so what I hear is a constant hum, a constant sound. And that's my air filter. I like to make sure the air in here is fresh and clean as best I can. So I got a lot of filters, air filters in here because this is an old building. It has the remnants of the former tenants in here. All homes do. You're gonna until you can neutralize, and that's why it's so important too when you get into a space. You work to neutralize the energy in there. Everybody's energy. If you're in an old building like I am, this building is an old building. So the remnants of all the former tenants were in here. I sense that I've neutralized the energy because it's very peaceful and calming. And so I pay attention. And so if somebody was here, across me and we're talking, I'm paying attention to what they're saying, but I'm also paying attention to what's going on around me. And sometimes my eyes will go here, my eyes, I'm paying attention. And I explain that to people that are in my space, what I do. And I suggest they do that as well. What's different about yesterday than there is today? You ought to be able to know that. And that's how you know if something's going on. Okay? I pay attention to the ceiling in here because, like I said, it is an old building. And, it's my responsibility to pay attention to that. And then when I go outside and walk, I'm looking around the building. Make sure this place is structurally sound. Thankfully, it's only 2 stories. Imagine being in a high rise. I just couldn't imagine that. I really could not. So thinking is constant. It's a constant moving of energy. You got to move that energy in your thoughts and ask yourself silently. No one has to know. Okay. Like what's going on right now? I'm just saying it out loud, but I can sit here and be thinking about that. And no one will even know. You know what I mean? So it's so important to consider grounding yourself in your reality and accept your reality for what it is. And if it's something that you are not happy with, then work on it. Work on it, be gentle, but you got to resolve things. And that's what we're not doing. We're not resolving things. We keep pushing things off in the background thinking, oh, somebody else is going to take care of it. Well, guess who's going to take care of it? Your future self, or not your future self. Your future personality, which is a different personality altogether, but they're going to be the ones that are affected by your lack of concern about your responsibilities and your accountabilities. We all are responsible for what is happening to this planet. And unfortunately, a lot of us are going to need to find a way to get off this planet sooner than later. Okay? And then when I say get off this planet, I mean get out of the soul system. I'm going to keep saying that too, because, a lot of people are so happy about their little spaceships that they have and their secret flights to the moon, to the Mars, wherever they're going. They're so excited about that, and they think they're the shit because they have a little spaceship that goes where? Whatever is affected here in this planet Earth is affected with Mars and the moon. They're in the solar system. Hello. The only way you can consider yourself out in space is outside the solar system. We, the 10 billion, almost 10 billion plus people on this planet, cannot get out of this solar system under the best circumstances. We need help with that. Okay? Keep that in mind. So, and it's going to matter more so now than later. A lot of people think, well, our atmosphere is poison. I told you our water is poison, our foods with the chemicals and the fertilizers. And our bodies are allowing us to eat that. But as time goes on, when our children start growing up, their bodies are not going to be able to take this. Okay, their bodies are not going to be built for this. They're going to have weak immune systems and unable to digest this food. So we have to consider other means of food, because everything has to be neutrally balanced with our immune system, with our structural, physical bodies, so that we can think properly. Having all, if you're hungry, what are you thinking about? I'm hungry. You're not thinking about anything else. If you're in pain, what are you thinking about? Pain. You're not thinking about anything else. And that's the same thing with being nefarious, evil intentions, evil purposes. That's all you're thinking about. Degeneracy, that's all you're thinking about. Deviancy, predator, that's you're thinking. You can be sitting down and people will assume you're harmless. I mean, you're causing just as much harm with your thoughts because of the energy. And I told you, people that are sensitive enough that they can pick up that, okay, they know that they're in danger, and usually they cannot get out of it. They usually are, they succumb to whatever is going on because they didn't respond quick enough, or they didn't trust whatever they were picking up, or this or that and the other. Stay focused on your reality. Pay attention. Pay attention to the people in your circle. Yeah, pay attention, whether they're family member or not, whether you're husband, wife, partner, otherwise. Pay attention to your circles of people around you. Like I said, right now I'm a one-man show, but at some point I'm going to build a foundation, and so that's going to be important to me, that I have the right sound mind of people, similar minds of people around me, that I'm safe and they're safe, that we are out to help people and not to harm anymore. Okay, so I hope all that makes sense. I pay attention to what's going on around me, in my environment, on the social media platform, in my neighborhood, and so I can pick up certain things, and just like everybody else can. There's nothing more about me than anybody else, and anybody that's keeping themselves on the pedestal, they're gonna collapse. Okay, they're gonna collapse in their consciousness, and they're gonna have a psychosis, and people are gonna think, "Whoa, where did that all come from?" If you're paying attention, you can pick that up, and I'm picking that up with certain people. I hope they can come out of it, but because believing you're so more important than you are, and then to have that shut down and exposed, that's a lot of people will harm themselves, but then they're going to attempt to harm others because they can't bear the fact that they are nude, essentially, or exposed. They're exposed, and people are laughing at them and pointing at them and calling them da-da-da. Some people just cannot handle that, and it's and then they build up that rage that's always has been there, since their adolescence. All you got to do is, some parents, if you want to, pay attention to your children and what causes them to have these temper tantrums, to have these kind of mood swings, and see how you can interrupt that. Find out what their modalities are. Are they more of a auditory types? Are they the visuals? Mostly boys are visuals, so you got to really get on that. What are they visualizing? And some are in their feelings and emotions, and those combinations of feelings and emotions can cause people to be violent and dangerous, because everything's within them. They're conjuring up things, and sometimes it doesn't show its head, so to speak, until it's too late. So pay attention to your children's behavior, see if it's concerning you, and see if you can interrupt it. Okay? If some of you have friends that's concerning you, see if you can interrupt it. I've told a couple of people that I've known over the past, I've said to them, look, there's something not right there. And then it's, oh, Michelle. And then what? Guess what? All right. So that's abilities we all have, that we can pick up that. We know that, okay, something's not right here. Okay, I just want to let you know you need to monitor that person. If you care about them, monitor them, interrupt them if you need to, bring them down to reality. Okay? Because a lot of people are addicted to that, and for some of them, they're not going to come out of it. They're not going to come out of that deviancy, that degeneracy, predator, sociopath, psychopath, narcissistic, choleric personalities. They're not going to come out of that. But I hope they do. I hope they do at least make an attempt to honestly tell us what happened and why they're that way. I won't hold my breath on it, but everybody has to be given the benefit of the doubt. Everyone has to be given the opportunity to make us all understand what's going on inside of you, because we don't know. What are you thinking about? There's that contradiction again, swirling in your mind, where you're thinking about killing people, but you're sitting there harmless, drinking your cup of coffee. Nobody knows have any idea that that's what you're thinking about. Or harming people. They're sitting there and that's why a lot of people say, well, gosh, he was just so quiet, and or she was just so quiet, and blah blah. Pay attention. Just pay attention. Pay attention to your thoughts. What are you thinking about? Sometimes you can pick up other, other things about to happen, but that's skills and abilities that you have to neutralize and fortify. Okay. So I hope that all makes sense on this beautiful Sunday morning on the West Coast. February the 18th, 2024, on this Sunday. Enjoy your life too. Have fun. Laugh at yourself. If you can't laugh at yourself, you're in serious problem. You're in a serious, you're in serious trouble. If you can't laugh at the fact that you're foolish, and you don't know all that you think you know, all you're doing is memorizing and regurgitating. You have no idea what you're even talking about. Because I'm going to say this too, and take it as you will. If you're the only ones, look, there's one thing to have confidence. Okay, there's one thing to have confidence. Confidence is part of the results. If you're confident, other people will pick that up. But be mindful of those that are continually tooting their own horns, and they have no results whatsoever. Okay, in other words, they're telling you how great they are and how knowledgeable they are. They're the ones that are keeping themselves on pedestals, because they know if you have to keep putting yourself on the pedestal just to be noticed, yes, you're in trouble. Because the results will speak for themselves. And the right type of people will come to you. They'll come to you instead of you running and attempting to get in front of them, leapfrogging over everybody to be on this pedestal about how powerful and wonderful you are. And you have no results to back that up. And some of you are 15, 18, 21, in your 30s, believing that. Okay, don't get offended when that's being revealed to you. You're not that powerful. You're not that important over anybody else. So neutralize all of that and go have some fun and be realistic about who you think you are. Okay? So I'm going to stop there right there. I'm going to send peace and love all over the stars, moon, and mountains. It's about universal love. Spread it.